Every week, a new band. Brought to you by NZ On Air. Active Live! Yeah.
Tie me to a chair until you make my vision blurry. Oh, honey, can you roll me a durry? When you saw me at the club, I was swaying in my knee-high boots, kicking the air, parading on top of the tables, dancing on your mother's grave. I moved on, you were gone, you made a point, you're unattainable. But then you pulled me in. Against your front door. Oh, when I couldn't forget about that time on your bedroom floor. The joyful cries, the lies, we were dancing round with borrowed time. It's almost up, remember, I'm not yours and you're not mine. I wanna breathe a chair until you make my vision blurry. Oh, honey, can you roll me a durry? I wanna breathe you like a drug. You do me dirty, tie me to a chair until you make my vision blurry. Oh, honey, can you roll me a durry? Tie me to a chair until you make my vision blurry. Oh, honey, can you roll me a durry? I wanna breathe you like a drug. You do me dirty. Tie me to a chair until you make my vision blurry. Oh, honey, please roll me a durry. I wanna breathe you like a drug. You do me dirty. Tie me to a chair until you make my vision blurry. Oh, honey, can you roll me a durry? I wanna breathe you like a drug. You do me dirty. Tie me to a chair until you make my vision blurry. Oh, honey, please roll me a durry.
Welcome to Active Live. This is Friday, the 6th of June, the first Active Live of June. My name is Misty, and this is Active Live brought to you by New Zealand Music On Air, and I'm here with Courtney Side. Hello.
Hello.
There's 6 of you. Oh, no, there's 5 of you packed into this room, which actually looks reasonably spacious considering how many of you there are in here. Would you like to introduce yourselves or introduce the band?
I'll introduce.
So to my right, I have Caspian Rive on the bass. We've got Jasper Innerellen on the drums behind me. We've got on the other side behind me, Raph Hosking. And then on the other side beside me, we've got Kaya Johnston on the trumpet.
I hope the spatialization is coming through over the radio.
Yeah.
Wow, it's very cool to have all of you in the studio. I'll do a little introduction for the audience for people who don't know you. Courtonside are a usually 6-piece band, but today 5-piece band who are playing. I would say your music is a real mix of genres. You've got your indie, your pop, your rock, and of course a lot of you have a bit of a jazz background as well. So quite a range of things. I would say Courtonside sound like Courtonside. Would that be correct?
I like that.
Yeah.
We're
you got
our
your
own genre.
Courtonside sound. Exactly. You are your own genre. I want to first ask you a little bit about how your journey has been recently playing music. I know that you're currently in the middle of writing some new projects, but that first song, Durry, came out in 2023 from your EP, 5 Star Shag. What's it been like since that EP has come out? What has the band been up to?
It's been fun. I feel like we are currently on the road to making some new music, which has been fun, and kind of figuring out where we want to be within the genre verse. But yeah, it's been fun. I really like 5 Star Shag. It speaks to the time in our lives where we're all just confused and trying to figure things out and really horny a lot of the time.
I was going to mention that, you might have heard in that song Durry, the lyrics are definitely pretty steamy. And I think that 5 Star Shag as a whole has some pretty clear themes in it. And I love it. I love that that's the way. It's very youthful. It's a very youthful EP. And Frankie, you yourself wrote the Durry lyrics.
Yes.
Yes, I remember we talked about that at the time it came out. I was like, Frankie, where did that song come from? What? I don't know that could come out of your own brain. Nah.
I remember when I wrote the guitar part for that song, I wrote these real shitty lyrics. And Frankie, I was like, Frankie, don't keep these lyrics, write some new ones. And she turned up to band practice a few weeks later with these steamy ass sexy lyrics, and I was like, yes.
It works.
Yes.
I think it perfectly sets up the 5 Star Shag EP. I am pretty close mates with all of you, and you are very close mates with yourselves. Courtonside, well, obviously, but what I'm trying to say is that
we love ourselves.
between each other, as a band, most of you have been together for quite a while since high school. I think that over this time, I've heard your sound really progress. You have had new people come into the band, Kaya.
And Will.
Oh yeah, and
here.
Will, who's not here. How do you think that your sound has changed since those earlier high school days to now?
Oh my God, I think it's got better. It's I feel like we're playing around with. We've all got all these different things that we like to listen to. So it might be of course, a lot of people in this band have been to jazz school, but like myself, I haven't. So I want to bring in something that is different from what Kai wants to bring in. And I got lost in the ramble, but
I think that's why it's taken us so long to get around to making this new music, is that we just enjoy so many different types of music that we needed to take some time and figure out what the Courtonside sound moving forward was. And I think up until recently, we'd just been kind of playing around with all this different music that we liked and not really having a cohesive direction. Maybe not a cohesive sound still, but we're getting there.
But it's fun.
We're on track.
We like how we're going. And we love where we're at now. And we love our beautiful horns.
Is there anyone in particular that you think you're really referencing your music off?
I feel like right now I'm trying to channel my inner Fontaines DC.
Nice.
I think they're really cool. They're really cool.
I think someone who's influenced our music a lot, who maybe doesn't get talked about, is our producer who worked with us on the last album and is about to go into the studio with us, who is Emily Wheatcroft-Snape. She was recently nominated for an AMA, and she's just such an integral part of the recorded band's sound behind the scenes. And I think we kind of owe a lot of our sound to her, and we are quite influenced by the way that she works and the beautiful sounds that she captures. So I think she's worth mentioning.
I would totally agree with you there. Emily Wheatcroft Snape. Wow, tongue twister a bit there. She's amazing, and I totally agree with you that she's really helped you develop a very, I would say you've got some Fontaine's DC in there, but also you've got a real Kiwi feel to your music as well. A bit of New Zealand pride in there for sure, which I really like. Well, let's get into a second track, and I am really excited to hear these ones. Maybe you could do a little introduction to the second song.
This one's loud and fast.
And it has a working title of Sleep Song. Should I quit my job or stay under this bridge in the nest that I built for myself with the sticks and the stones and the mold that is bad for my health? White noise in the dark, it's getting closer and closer to my heart. I know I have to sleep, but I can't rest while there's an ignited coal mine on fire in my chest. And will I die if I can't sleep at all? Getting louder, heart's burning wilder. Better not trick myself, thinking there's someone there tearing the veins from my brain. Do I hear rain? The ringing between my ears remains. There's this loud white noise in the dark. It's getting closer and closer to my heart. I know I have to sleep, but I can't rest while there's an ignited coal mine on fire in my chest. And will I die if I can't sleep at all? Oh yeah. Welcome to Active Live. My name's Misty, and I'm here with Colton Side, who just played their song. Title is Work in Progress, but this is a new era of Colton Side, and you're just about to start doing some recording, which is super cool. I would love to know a little bit about your recording process as a band. You've got horn players as well as your usual rhythm section. You've got multiple vocal performers. How do you go about that process? Is it a live one, or do you take it bit by bit? We actually haven't done recording in quite a while since we got horns. So I feel like we, in the past, kind of took a song in that kind of maybe still needed some workshopping and worked on it through being in the studio. And now we've got our beautiful horns, and Will is overseas for this first session that we're going to be doing. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I know he's got his parts that he wants to play. But, you know, I don't know how it's going to go, to be honest. It'll be fun, though.
We make a lot of demos, so I feel like we have a process of recording something and bringing that in, but the something is not always what ends up kind of coming out of the session, which is a cool way to work, I think.
Yeah, it's quite a democratic process, I'd say. Especially as we've gotten more sensible in our music. I think that's changed a bit. We've drawn off demos and other people's ideas, but we definitely draw each other into it. And there's a lot of workshopping in the room together and arguing and fighting. But
Shout out democracy, real quick.
Yeah.
Shout out democracy. Yeah, we love a bit of arguing. You need to all have a voice, right? And with the lyric writing, is it a bit split as well? Is that quite democratic, or does someone usually kind of take the leading role?
Oh, that's fascist as hell.
No,
Shout out Frankie.
I've been doing a lot of the vocals. In the past, it was me and Raph kind of jumping off each other with like where we wanted to go. You know, maybe someone writes a verse, maybe someone writes a chorus, and then like build from there. When we're like, I don't really know what this is about, and then someone's like, what if it's about this thing that's going on in my life? And it's like, oh, cool, great, let's move those lyrics around. But now we're kind of really dialing into creating for our own instrument and bringing that to the band, which has been really cool.
Nice.
But cool, but fun.
That's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
Well, I could tell by that previous song, you still got similar themes, very youthful, I guess relatable content. Well, not relatable content. I'm so brain rotted these days, relatable content. Social media managing is coming out for real right now. Well, I think what I meant by that is that a lot of young Kiwis, a lot of young people around the world would probably relate to a lot of the things you're singing about. Is it important that you find your audience can relate to your music lyrically as well as enjoy it and have a boogie?
I think so. I really like trying to create an image that people can see or relate to. I mean, that last song was just, I really couldn't sleep one time, like the whole night. And I needed to leave my job the next day, and it was really stressful. And then I wrote some lyrics about that. And it was a great therapeutic process for me, I found, just being like, that sucked, but now I get a song.
Yeah, and a banging song at that. So I'm excited to be able to hear that constantly.
Thank you.
From Bandcamp or something. I don't know. We'll play on the radio a few times or something. How about that?
Wow.
Well, I have a question from a person who is not me, but is listening in right now. And they would love to know what your dream festival lineup would be if you were to host a festival in New Zealand right now. Bro. And where would it be?
Holy.
Okay, maybe just give us your headliner. Or a couple headliners, because maybe it is a bit of a big one.
Surely we get Revolver on that.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Revolver always.
Nice.
I reckon if we go Revolver, Esby, bring Esby back. Fruit Loops. What else do you play with, Misty?
Oh,
Like
you're just trying to work me to death, are you?
But what if I want to have some fun at this so-called festival, all right?
Maybe it would be all paid for at that point.
Deck Club. Shout out Deck Club. Legend.
I feel like we're naming some kind of similar bands, similar scene bands. What if we were thinking international as well?
We don't really know international acts.
No, actually true.
But I would get Avantdale Bowling Club for sure.
Yeah, no, actually fair. I don't know any artists out of New Zealand either. That's
Irrelevant.
Yeah,
but I
so
have been
irrelevant.
listening to this one irrelevant band from New York who just put out this beautiful single. The band's called Ben Stella, and I'd love to have them on.
It sounds incredibly irrelevant, but sounds great too. Thanks, Raph.
Thanks, Misty.
All right, let's get into a third tune, and I think are we gonna keep on the same rolling pathway of new stuff?
Yeah. This is another little working song.
Sick.
Yeah. Oh, it's called Feel You Now.
What do you think? Touch me slowly. Trace your spine with mine. Drink me like day-old wine, like we did that summertime. The distance lives here with us. Our magnets on opposite sides. Sours the water from the taps. Tapped all the way into the pipes. Love gets lonely when the cup we share is empty, when we're only skin and bones deep, when I can't ask you what you think.
That crunchy new song was by Caught Inside. They're here live with me for Active Live, brought to you by New Zealand On Air Music. My name's Misty, and I am very, very lucky to know this band very well. So if you have been tuning in, it's probably been pretty obvious by the fact that I have a lot of prior knowledge on you as a band, and I'm trying to make it really clear for my audience about Caught Inside and let you get to know them as well as I do.
Disclose your conflict of interest.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. No.
Misty.
Well, that new song, Feel You Now, that's a future to be recorded tune.
I hope so.
Very
We've got to
cool.
have a democratic vote over that. I vote yes.
I really liked it. I vote yes.
Yes.
I vote yes to every Caught Inside song, I've decided, because it's been so fun having you. Well, we are coming up to the end of our Active Live for this week, but we do have this little piece that we do at the end of our segment where we have a pass it on question from last time's band. We've got a bit of a philosophical one for you this week, and I did have to double check that this definitely was the question, because you can interpret it how you would like. What is the longest silence in the world? What's the longest silence in the world? Interpret it as you may.
Probably when you ask who's going to help you take the bins out.
Irony missed.
What were you going to say?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I took it.
No, that was that.
Do you have an answer?
No.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
That was a long... Oh.
Yeah, it can be, but
That
you
was
are
very
probably
clever.
one of the most talkative bands in the world, so I feel it doesn't apply. But maybe the bins. Hopefully, all of you have a bins roster at home.
Nah.
Oh, okay. It's just whoever's keen.
Upland Road people, we need to get on that.
Do you have a question for next week's band that you're dying to know?
Cass has a great one.
Okay. We were deciding between two questions, but the question that I had was, if you were Don McGlashan at the Aotearoa Music Awards, what would you say?
What would you say?
What would you say to Chris Bishop?
Oh.
I was going to go with, if aliens landed on Earth tomorrow, what would be your first question?
Text into Radioactive to decide whose question is better.
Maybe next week we'll feel extra lucky that they've got two options in case they couldn't come up.
And they can have
Come
an
up with
extra
one
long
answer.
silence. And they
Yeah.
decide which one to answer.
Well, they could have half as much silence, which would even be better. Well, that was a good question, and I can clearly tell, Cass, that you listen into this segment quite a lot to already have a question prepared. He's giving me a firm nod. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you so much, Court Insight, for being in today. I've had a really good time talking to you, and I'm really excited to hear what you have in the future. Anything coming up other than, anything you'd like to talk about?
We're playing a gig with Lipstick on the
18th.
On the 18th of July. That's going to be at Valhalla, which we're very excited for, and we're also going to be joining Tahini Bikini on their tour at Rogan Vagabond on the 5th of July. Oh, July. I went in order, but I said July, I think, for the one.
So it's 18th of June and then 5th
18th.
of July.
That's exactly
You're
it.
onto it.
Awesome. You even have your diary out with all your dates.
Yeah, we got a couple shout outs as well. A quick shout out to E2 Musicians Union for successfully pushing for artist event organisers and contractors to continue to be paid the living wage. That's very cool. And also to Aotearoa musicians for having one of the highest cultural export values per dollar in the world. So keep funding us, government, please.
And Free Palestine.
And anyone else in the band you'd like to just quickly say from to the other side of the world hi to?
We miss Will so much, man. Shout out, Will.
Love you, man.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Misty. We love you. Thank you for having us. Thank you, Radioactive.
Well, tune in next week for another exciting band, and I hope you have a wonderful Friday. Active whānau. Bye.
Active Live. Friday, 3:30. Every week a new band. In studio. Brought to you by NZ On Air.